Hello beautiful writers out there. 200 followers? Really? That is awesome, guys. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for your support and your appreciation. It really means the world to me seeing you all strive and become more comfortable in your writing shoes. You know, that's the best reward that I can think of. So like I promised, when I hit 200 subscribers, I'm going to share my personal approach to how to go about, from idea to a finished script and what my process is like. And also what software I use for what step of the journey. All right, let's do this, shall we? Okay, let's talk about my process of writing. From the idea to the first draft. First up, it's about the idea. And usually ideas, they come to me in visuals. I'm a very visual guy, so sometimes there might be just an image or a mood or a certain situation that pops into my mind. And this is what I roll with then. I use Apple Notes for that matter, so whatever comes to mind, I just type in there, and it's very convenient for me to have that wherever I go because it's cloud-based and all, and I sort of collect all the visuals and the ideas that come to me. After I have figured out what idea I want to roll with, or with what idea it presents itself to be the most promising, I move on to the next phase, and that is my logline stage. I use a logline template that I came up with that works best for me, where I sort of figure out all the tentpoles that lead up to a solid basis for writing. Okay, first off, I think of what is the protagonist here? What is the outer goal? What's the obstacles to these goals? And in terms of obstacles, I do look for consequences, and these consequences are a result of this protagonist wanting to achieve this outer goal and making decisions on the way to doing so. When I know this and I figured out who the antagonist is and all what my midpoint is probably going to be, I'm happy to move on to the next stage. And the next stage is my outlining stage. And when it comes to outlining, I use a template that I created over the years working as a story consultant. The beauty about the outlining phase of it is that I try to see my story from different angles and different perspectives. And it's really there where I figure out how to tell the story. In the logline, I figure out the why I'm telling the story. So this is why I need both of them. I need the why to get me going and to really dig into the story. And I need the how of things to know where my story is going. So most importantly, I figure out, all of the beats within the story, all of the obstacles within the outline of things. And once I've completed the outline, I basically very much know how I'm going to tell this story from beginning to end. Knowing the ending for me is the most important part because it will give me the freedom to explore writing in a different way. But we'll come to that in a second. So, the outline I do in Apple Pages. That's where I created the template in, and it has all the blanks for me to fill out, and it's also cloud-based. I can take it wherever I am and open it and add things or erase things. And this is where I probably spend the most time before I actually write. I spend a month in this particular phase to figure out how to tell the story. And once I know, I move on to the writing phase of the thing, which of course is the most important one. But the beauty is, now that I've completed the outline and now that I know my ending, where the whole thing is headed, I do not look at the outline again until I completed the first draft. Yes, you heard right. I put it aside. I don't look at the outline ever again until I finished my first draft. Because I spent so much time beating out the outline, I know what I'm doing and I feel comfortable. Now is the time to really let myself loose and to free myself and to see where this story really wants me to go. And most importantly, where the characters want me to go. Writing my first draft really is the exploring stage. I explore without limitations, without compromising, without worrying about structure, formula, and all of that. I just simply write because I figured out my writing is the most strongest when I don't limit myself and I just physically type it away and without probably even thinking or overthinking it too much. It just, comes out. Whatever wants to come out, comes out. I don't judge myself there, and that's also something that you need to know. I do not edit myself while I'm writing my first draft. So all the way through, there's no editing happening. It's just what ends up on the page is on the page, period. I do the editing when it comes to the next draft. This writing actually then takes place in, a software or an app that you all know, that is Final Draft. It's also cloud-based, so it's very convenient to use, and I can write wherever I am, which is super important for me because I'm not writing at one place all the time. It varies. It depends on if it's between meetings or if I have busy days and I'm away and traveling. So I constantly need to have the opportunity to pull out whatever device I have and then type it away. It's after my first draft that I reread and I take notes while reading it. And what I really try to figure out with this is, okay, where do you actually want it to go with this? This is the part where I figure out the theme of things. For me, it's, although I do have certain, themes in my life that are reoccurring, I almost never really know where everything is going until I completed my first draft and I reread the thing, and then sort of, certain things pop up theme-wise. And I go back and try to highlight these themes even more and try to figure out if it's connected to the arc of the protagonist and that every character in it resembles a certain aspect to the theme. And I try to figure out if the theme is even, strong enough in that. This is happening, after I completed my first draft and I'm moving on to rewriting my first draft and produce the next and the following drafts. So that is really my process. Maybe your process is different, which is super fine. Don't worry about it. Stick to what works for you. This is just me sharing and giving you some insights on what I do. Maybe it triggers something in you. If it doesn't, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Stick to what works for you. That's the best advice I can give you. Maybe there are some things in there that speak to you and you want to try it out. Feel free to do so. In the description down below, I will link my template, the last guide to structure that you will ever need. So make sure you check that one out. It's super helpful. It lets you outline your story very fast and very convenient, and you have a nice overview. Alright guys, thanks for watching. In the comments below, share your process. How do you go about writing from the initial idea to the very first draft? Share it in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe and all of this good stuff. Keep in mind guys, it's all about writing and rewriting. Constant writing. Okay, see you in the next one guys. Right on.